Since Democrats have been quarantining for 2 years, they have no idea what's going on outside, no idea what real Americans are feeling. That's what happens when you stay inside afraid of crowds and check Twitter all day. So it took a pollster to break the news to them that everybody hates their woke nonsense, even Democrat voters, and they're about to get annihilated in November. So now the party's panicking. Joe Biden isn't respected. Brand new polling shows him at 37% approval. Biden didn't shut down the virus. Everybody got it. Inflation's painful, and the president isn't doing a thing about it. 2 Obama officials are now telling Biden, you better get it together. In a New York Times article, former Obama guy, Steve Ratner, says Biden's excuse for inflation is dishonest. And David Axelrod says it's time for the president to grow up and be a little more humble. But the destruction of the Democratic Party stretches far beyond Joe Biden. And for once, MSNBC gets something right.
The Democrats have got to step away from the super wokeness. I mean, San Francisco really tells what's going on there. You've got 3 school board members that were voted out by 70% because they're focusing on things like changing the name of schools. Abraham Lincoln on a school, George Washington on a school. This is not what voters care about. So you need to step away from super wokeness.
Fastest way to end a culture war is lose it. And that's what the Democrats should do. Surrender. Back the blue, scrap CRT, and just start acting normal around children again. It's all hands on deck in the media. They see the landslide coming. Even the Associated Press says the brand is so toxic, Dems fear extinction in rural U.S. The Democratic Party is losing voters faster than CNN is losing viewers. I know, that fast. So apparently it's time for a costume change. Democrats are running as Republicans. That's how bad this is. They don't even care. They want to hold on to power that badly. Suddenly, Democrats want to reopen schools and get rid of masks, and Nancy Pelosi is the law and order candidate.
There's some issues that we ask police to do, like mental health issues or policing in schools and all the rest, that perhaps we can shuffle some of that money around.
Cori Bush, Congresswoman from Missouri, is saying it's time to defund the police. She's sticking by that.
With all the respect in the world for Cori Bush, that is not the position of the Democratic Party. Community safety, to protect and defend in every way, is our oath of office. Defund the police is dead.
Defund the police is dead because it killed people. And those body bags lie at the doorstep of the Democratic Party. It's obvious the Democrats are failing the exam, so they're just cheating and stealing the answers from Republicans. It's that simple. The left is even calling for tax cuts. At this point, Democrats might want to finish the wall. We can only dream. But the entire party isn't on board with this pivot. Some didn't get the memo. For example, some are blaming the wacky San Francisco school board recall on white supremacy, calling freedom a code word for racist. Yeah, freedom is racist, which means slavery isn't racist. It's all very confusing. And AOC continues to AOC.
We fought tooth and nail for the inclusion of undocumented people in relief packages, stimulus checks, FEMA assistance, and we've actually helped huge amounts of undocumented families in our district get federal relief that many others were trying to lock them out of.
Welfare for illegals. I think I know what the memo said about that. So the question is, will the party be able to pull off this costume change in time for the midterms, or will the loudmouths on the left ruin it and get the party stuck in a woke quagmire? Joining me now to respond, Victor Davis Hanson, senior fellow at the Hoover Institution. The Democratic Party could be extinct, like the dinosaurs, potentially, VDH. I mean, is this even possible?
Well, they're at the end of the hallway, and there's only 3 doors out, Jesse, and you outlined it. And they've got a cognitively impaired president who's obnoxious and mean-spirited, and they have issues that are polling less than his 37%. So option one is, as you say, they can double down and they can say, you know what, we would rather be wrong with Marx and socialism than right with moderation. We're glorious revolutionaries. We're going to double down and we're going to go for broke. And then they can say, you know what, there's a door B, we can get dirty and mean. We can get the Zuckerbergs in the Silicon Valley, spend another $419 million, target precincts, go out, get the January 6th back up. We can go after Donald Trump, we can get all this money, we can file lawsuits. They can do the tactics, the methodology route. Or they can do as you say, they can do the Dick Morris 1995-96 remake of Bill Clinton. And suddenly we'll hear about night basketball and school uniforms, 100,000 police officers. But the problem with the third is that these people are not Democrats, they're revolutionaries. And what the rational, logical answer is sitting there for everybody to see doesn't mean they're going to take it. They're emotional, and they would rather be wrong and pure than right and moderate. And so I don't think they're going to do it. And they have another problem with being moderate. The Republican Party today isn't the Republican Party in the 90s. It's a populist nationalist party that is appealing to the middle class more than the very wealthy. The Democrats are the very wealthy and the very poor, but this party is starting to transcend race and replace it with middle class concerns. So they don't have a lockhold on Hispanics or African American males or Asians as they used to. And I think that they have a problem. So I think they're going to select door A and go down to glorious defeat as revolutionary. Okay,
so you're saying they're going to go for broke. They're not going to buy their way out. They're not going to lie their way out. They're going to go woke, going for broke.
Yeah.
Do you see the race card playing a factor in the midterm elections? Because that's been so effective. The gender card, the race card, I mean, that is their bread and butter. But with inflation and gas prices and crime affecting broad swaths of the population, rich, poor, black, white, everybody, is that going to play?
I don't know if it's going to play. I think they're going to lose whatever of the three alternatives they take, but it doesn't mean that they won't take the radical one. I think they would rather lose and be pure. So they're going to talk about racism, transgenderism, sexism, inequality, diversity, all the way down. And if they lose, they're going to say, you know what? We had a glorious 2 years of a progressive left-wing Congress. And, that's what they're going to do. They're revolutionary. They're not rational people.
A selfish part of me wants them to take Doré because I know they'll go down in flames. But it's not the patriotic thing to think. But maybe I'm just, maybe I'm just a shallow person. Yeah. All right, VDH, thank you as always for your expertise.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.